So right now I'm 29, right? If I get a cash value life insurance policy and I put aside however much it is a month, I can then, let's say 3 years from now, borrow from the money that I put into it and use that to get a real estate property.
Exactly. It's those back workouts.
I think I might need a workout program.
Should I slouch a bit? Would that make you feel comfortable?
You trying to be funny? You're funny. You are funny. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure you're ready?
I believe so.
You still nervous?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. But all right, let's do
Let's
this.
do this. It's power, it's fuel.
Yeah, right? Let's use this. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Better You, Better Society. My name is Samuel Emmanuel Dickerson Jr. And today I'm going to be talking to Lisa. And honestly, the reason why I'm talking to Lisa is because she's somebody that I think is very inspirational. She's very assertive. She's making moves. And I think that she's a good person to be affiliated and associated with and to be surrounded by. So I'm going to be talking to her. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to be talking to Lisa so that we can just kind of pick her brain and so that we can be inspired from what she does and who she is. So Lisa, what's up?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I feel great. How are you?
I'm chilling. All right, so tell everybody your name and your age.
Well, my name is Lisa Campusano. I am 27. Did I just forget my age? I'm 27 years old. And I'm from the Bronx, the boogie down.
Oh, snap. Yeah. I want to make a joke, but I don't want to say anything crazy.
Don't.
Okay.
Because then we're going to be fighting.
Gotcha. See, I was going to make a joke. See? But, all right. First question.
What's up?
What do you do and how do you make your money?
I am a licensed... Sorry, I totally forgot what I do. I am a licensed insurance agent. And I make my money teaching people how to build wealth using life insurance. And I've been doing that for a little over 4 years, predominantly in New York, but also licensed in 17 other states in the US to be able to offer the same service.
Beautiful.
Am I supposed to look at you when we're talking?
It doesn't matter.
I don't want to be rude.
No, it's okay.
I'm looking at the camera, you
can do whatever makes you feel comfortable.
No, but I just want us to be like...
I'm not going to edit any of this out,
Okay.
just so you know. So,
Got it.
you know? Okay.
That's going to come out.
Yeah, it is. All right. So I know that you're a licensed life insurance agent. What else do you do?
Aside from that, I also invest in real estate. I own about 3 Airbnb properties. And I've been doing that passively for 2 years now. And aside from that, I'm also a coach. I mentor and coach other agents on how to build their financial services business, the insurance business, and how to generate leads and expand.
Gotcha. Okay, so what would you say give me 1 to 2 of your main business goals right now?
1 or 2 of my main business goals. I guess for me is being more intentional with the services, well, not with the services, but with what I'm doing. I want to be able to make a connection in between insurance and real estate. And I feel like the way that I can do that is by teaching people how, by building wealth or through building wealth through life insurance, you're able to also use that as an asset that you can invest in real estate. So I want to make the connection and bridge the gap. Not that there is a gap really, but I just want to be able to make the connection and how people can use an asset like life insurance, which many people don't even know you can leverage to be able to invest in real estate.
You know what? Because you said that yesterday and that had me like thinking. I'm like, okay, so someone gets life insurance and then you said they can use their life insurance to get real estate. How does that work?
Okay, so let me give you a breakdown. There's different types of life insurance, okay? The life insurance that I'm talking to you about specifically is called the cash value life insurance. It's the type of life insurance that not only do you have a death benefit, which is the coverage that gets paid out to your loved ones, your beneficiaries upon your death, but the policy also has a different purpose, which is money that's being accumulated inside of the policy that you're able to access while you're still alive. So this money gets accumulated different ways. One of the most common ways right now, or the most talked about ways, is your money either mimicking a stock index like the S&P 500, which means that you're getting stock like index returns without actively investing into the market. So your money is not at risk, but you're getting those earnings, which allows you to grow your money, compounded interest, and then you're able to access that money and invest it in other assets like real estate or whatever other things you would like to fund.
Gotcha. So right now I'm 29, right? So if I get a cash value life insurance policy, and I put aside however much it is a month that I decide to put away, I can then, let's say 3 years from now, borrow from the money that I put into it on a monthly basis and use that to get a real estate property.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly. You borrow, because the money that you're borrowing, you're not really borrowing your money. And this is actually probably one of the things that makes life insurance very intriguing. For example, if you have, let's say, $10,000 in your savings in the bank, you take that $10,000 out, you no longer have money, right? Now, unlike life insurance, if you have $10,000 in your cash value, and let's say you want to borrow or access that money, the company is going to lend out their money to you, keeping your money in your account still earning interest. So the account is going to continue to perform like if you never took money out in the first place. So this is what I like to explain to people. It's like you just turn $1 into $2. Why? Because you just use the company's money to invest in real estate at an interest rate that's usually less than 2%. And then you have your money still earning money.
Okay, so let's say...
Tax-free.
Okay, beautiful.
I just needed to add it.
Okay, no, cool. So let's say I take money out, and I don't even want to say this, but I die. Does my family still benefit from that?
Your family will benefit from the death benefit minus the loan. So let's say you were covered for $1 million and you took out a loan for $50,000. Your family will receive $950.
Okay.
If you have the outstanding loan. If you paid back the loan, then they receive that $1 million. And that $1 million is transferred to your beneficiaries tax-free.
Gotcha. Okay, oh, okay, beautiful. All right, gotcha.
I have a new client.
Okay, I mean, you said it on video, so now we might just have to make that happen.
We might have to make this happen.
All right, so a lot of people, myself included, it's like, I just don't have any interest in getting life insurance. Not now, as of like 5 minutes ago, but before, I just didn't care for it. Like, do you find that a lot of people our age feel like that?
Yes. However, there has been within the last couple years more notion around that concept of getting life insurance when you're young. Why? Because there's so many benefits of you getting life insurance when you're young. One, you're healthier, so your cost of insurance is less, and because you're younger as well. And two, it's just the notion that there was just a misconception that life insurance is only for when you die. So a lot of people didn't feel the need, like, I'm not going to use it, right? We like to think about what can I use now that would enhance my wealth now, right? Life insurance also does that. So it's just really the miseducation, or the lack of education rather, that doesn't allow people to know or be exposed to what these accounts allow you to do, such as life insurance, that doesn't let people our age really know what they're missing out on.
Yeah, okay. Now, is getting life insurance hard? So if I wanted to get life insurance, what would I have to do?
It's actually a great question. Honestly, it's so easy now to get life insurance. I mean, you could literally go online and get life insurance. I wouldn't recommend doing that because it's like, I feel like when you're speaking to someone that is educated on the topic and is licensed and whatnot, you have the capacity to be able to find out what really works for you. Not everybody needs the same type of life insurance. Like, what I'm trying to say is there's not a one size strategy fits all, right? It's everybody's needs are different. Everybody's budgets are different, right? Your qualifications might not be the same. So it's good to talk to someone that is educated on the topic that can help guide you into finding what's the best life insurance for you.
So for you, so let's say I come to you and I'm like, hey, I want to get life insurance, but these are my goals. One, I want to, give my family some bread when I die, or if I die, like, prematurely, God forbid. But I want to be able to borrow 50 grand 6-7 years from now. And you would help me pick out a plan that would help. Okay.
I would help you design it. See, I also want to specify, I also want to specify that I specialize in cash value life insurance, right? Not that I don't offer any other life insurance, I do, but I know how to design these strategies so that it fits what you're looking for. Of course, budget based as well. Like it has to also fit your budget. But what I always tell people, if you don't have the money to invest $500, $1,000 into a life insurance policy, start off small and build your way up. And why would you want to invest $500, $1,000 a month into a life insurance policy or more? Because of the more that you invest, the more that you accumulate, the faster you build equity. It's kind of like owning a home. You're making your payments, but as you're making your mortgage payments, you're also building equity. The same thing you're doing with that life insurance policy. You're building equity so then you're able to access it and then being able to invest it elsewhere.
Okay.
Or use it to supplement your retirement, right? It's so many things like us as entrepreneurs, that can be another asset that we can use to supplement our retirement because we don't have that 401k or provided by an employer, right? So we kind of have to build our own retirement plan.
Okay. So wait, what's the difference between, like, why not just take that $500 a month and put it in a savings account or leave it under my mattress and just save it that way? What's the benefit of putting in a life insurance?
Leverage. When you have $500 in your savings account, we know banks are not giving you anything in terms of rate of return, right? It's like a 0.00000, right? Like it's nothing. I know it's not that low. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but it's. I want you to think about it this way. Let's talk about the rule of 72. The rule of 72 is a really old finance rule. It's actually invented by Albert Einstein. It's the whole concept of how long it will take you to double your money, depending on where you have your money currently allocated. If you have your money in a bank account, let's assume that bank account is giving you a 1%, being ambitious. 72 divided by 1, 72. So that means it's going to take you 72 years for your money to double in the bank. You understand?
1 second, I'm sorry. Oh, man. All
really?
right.
You forgot to check your phone?
Yo, my bad, man. You better stop. All right.
This conversation was getting intense.
70,
okay.
We talking about 72.
72 years, right?
I'm sorry. Can you turn off the AC? It's freezing.
Oh, you're cold?
You're not cold?
No,
What's
I'm
wrong
in a
with
long
you?
sleeve.
My fingers are like icicles.
I didn't know you were the type to get cold fast.
Yo, I'm not. I'm surprised I'm not sweating, but.
Okay.
Good.
So, let me close the door, by the way, just because.
You heard them talking?
Just in case somebody tries to come in. All right. So, back to what I was saying. 72, right? 72 years for your money to double in the bank.
I'll be really old.
Exactly. We don't have that many 72 years in our lives, let alone putting it under the mattress where you're really not getting anything. On top of that, you also have to keep in mind inflation exists. In the last year, we got to see how inflation, like, just how fast it increased, right? We're talking about like around this time last year, inflation was like maybe 3-4%. Now we're talking about 8, close to 9. So that means that we call inflation as like a silent tax, because it's robbing at our money, it's robbing at our wealth. We don't see it, but we feel it, all right? So you have to keep that in mind. It's where can I put my money so my money is actually working for me? We work so hard for our money, but yet we don't know, or we lack the proper resources and the tools to put our money to work for us. So now if I have my money in an account that's giving me an 8% or a 10% or a 12%, my money is doubling faster. You understand? So the idea is, how can I double my money faster and beat inflation?
Okay, so if I'm making, like, let's say I'm getting to the bag and I want to put my money in, in a savings account, or if I want to put my money somewhere safe to save it, you're saying you would recommend putting it in a life insurance policy because the interest rate of that account would be identical or above that of inflation. So my money wouldn't lose in its value in that life insurance policy the same way it would if I put it in a regular savings account.
Correct. And I don't want to say that guarantee you're going to get an 8%, a 10%, or 12 or 15 or whatever interest rate on a life insurance account, but you have the potential to do so, right? Of course, it really depends on the strategy that you have and how it's designed. But yes, overall, the idea is that you are beating inflation and that your money is working for you, which is something that you do not get in the banks. And I also want to add on to that because we're talking about banks. Banks are currently, and I'm going to send you the link to this so you can also, reference back to it. Banks invest billions of dollars in life insurance assets. Billions of dollars. Why? Because they're classified as one of the safest investments.
What is a life insurance asset?
It's a cash value life insurance.
Oh, so they invest in
their money
our life insurance policies.
They have their own bank-owned life insurance policies. So it's a cash value life insurance, but they're bank-owned specifically for banks, but they invest billions of dollars in these assets. Why? Because of the things that they provide you with: growth on your money, safety, and tax advantages. So if banks, we're talking about some of the smartest institutions in the world, they have the best attorneys, the best economists, like we're talking about, they have the best team. And they're investing monies into these assets. Why can't we do the same? I always say follow the money, right? And if we do that, if we're more conscious about where our money is going, we would actually be able to be more effective and efficient when it comes to our financial goals.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's rewind back to, like a regular guy opening up a life insurance policy. How much money does he have to invest a month into it?
Depends on your goals. I say...
Follow-up question, I'm sorry. Can I start off with, let's say, the minimum, let's say it's 10 or 20 or 30 a month, and then over time, or like in a year, let's say I'm making more money, then can I increase it to $200 a month?
So can you start with $10, $20, or $30 a month? Not necessarily with a cash value life insurance. Assuming we're talking about hypothetical example, a male that's 29 years old, minimum I would say to start would be 100.
What's that? What is that?
The AC.
Okay.
For a minute, I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I guess I'm used to it. Yeah. I'm sorry. The office is falling apart, guys.
And I did say I'm not going to edit this. All right. Okay, so you would say at 29, male, the minimum is 100. So let's say I start off with...
It's not necessarily 100, but I'm saying that that's what I would recommend the minimum to be.
Why?
Because ideally when people are getting cash value life insurance, they're looking for the benefits that it offers you. If you really want the policy to work for you, I would say no less than $100, because in other words, it's just performing like a term policy, which a term policy is a type of life insurance that does not have any cash value. It's mainly specifically intended for those people that only want to have life insurance, for a specific period of time, 10, 15, 20, 30 years being the max. But that's all it's for. It's just basic life insurance.
Okay.
So in other words, it's like having a term, which in some cases you can start off with a term having a $20, $30, $50 a month policy. And then once you find that you're more financially available to, or
making more money,
right?
I'm sorry,
That's
I didn't mean to do that.
say.
I need to stop doing
I'm just
that.
using these fancy ass words like financially available. What the fuck is that?
Okay,
Anyways,
yeah, so
being sophisticated.
Stop doing that going forward, and I won't try to finish your sentences.
All right. I don't mind it, by the way. But yeah, when you have more money, then we convert it into something permanent, then now it's able to give you more benefits.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. Like, guy, he's struggling. He's not making that much money. So he's like, okay, I'll start with 50 a month. Now he's getting to the bag a year later. Can he upgrade it to $200 or $300 a month?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
gotcha.
I always say that there's a life insurance for wherever you're at. You know, there's a life insurance for people that unfortunately do have certain health conditions and that could not qualify for a regular life insurance. Then we get them a final expense policy that is only really mainly intended for funeral costs and stuff like that. There's one for everyone. You can get a life insurance as young as 14 days old.
All right, so all of this talk about life insurance. So basically, you know, I wanted to just get at like anybody can get a life insurance policy, and that, you know, there aren't really any barriers and like nothing should prevent people from getting it.
I mean, unfortunately, I wish that was the case, but it's not as simple because getting life insurance, the biggest factor for you qualifying is your health. Fortunately, not everybody's health is up to par, right? So that's why the younger and the healthier you are, the more qualified you are, right? Cost of insurance is less, it's more affordable, but there are certain health conditions that unfortunately it's a no for people getting qualified for life insurance. But I know that there's a lot of modifications currently being done in the insurance world that, you know, I've been seeing people that have had cancer in their past getting approved for life insurance, right? So just trust that it is all evolving, right? But there are certain qualifications that unfortunately health-wise prevent you from getting qualified. There's also things like your driving history, criminal background, right? Those are also factors that the companies look at when determining whether you're a good fit. Because at the end of the day, they see you as a risk. They're taking on your risk. When you get life insurance, what you're doing is that you're transferring your risk onto the company. So for example, when you pass away and you have a family, the biggest thing your family is going to be missing is your income, right? So now the company is going to be replacing your income.
That sounded crazy. Go ahead though. But no, it's a fact. Like your family will miss that income.
It is. Statistically speaking, it takes a family 6 to 10 years to bounce back financially after the death of a loved one. So now what you're doing is that you're transferring that risk into the insurance company.
Okay, I'm sorry. That is like one of my biggest, like smiling at the wrong time. Go ahead.
You're good. So now the company is taking on that risk. So they need to make sure that you are eligible, you know, that you check off boxes. Because if you are someone that has a history of getting into trouble, right, doing risky things that you're putting your life at risk, they're going to think twice about, you know, covering you, because they see it as in, well, statistically, this person can pass away much faster. They don't want you to pass away. They want you to live longer. Okay.
Yeah. But it's like you do stupid things. It's like he's trying to get like.
Exactly. So that's how they see it. Everything is a calculated risk. We're literally a calculated risk to the insurance company. So when we are applying, they're looking for an ideal profile. Anything outside of that causes the insurance to be more expensive to us, right? Or we don't even get to apply for qualify for it, right? So these are just factors that we need to keep in mind. Like I said, the insurance as a whole has been evolving. They are making a lot of modifications to get more people to be able to approve, but there are certain limitations.
Gotcha. Okay. So would you agree that most people should at least contact someone like you as soon as possible, just to, you know, see if they can qualify or see how getting a policy can benefit them? And like, if I would have done it when my mother told me to when I was 21, it probably would have been better for me than now I'm 29. So, you know, Mom, you were right. And to any other young people out there, like, you know, try to, you know, look into it sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yes, I would definitely recommend or suggest for someone to contact me, especially if they have questions around life insurance. A lot of the questions, or a lot of the misconception, especially the biggest misconception that people have about life insurance, is that it's too expensive, right? Obviously, especially in today's society or today's day and age, with inflation and everything being so expensive, we're looking for ways that we can cut costs, right? So adding another expense is daunting, right? It's not something you really want to do. But don't look at it as an expense. Look at it as an investment to your future self, an investment to your family, right? Because that's what it is. It's like, at the end of the day, your life insurance will be able to do more for you than you would ever be able to do for your life insurance. That's how I see it.
That's a bar.
So look at it as an investment. I think we just have to change the stigma around it. Like we discussed, there's so many life insurance policies that you can use right now that you don't have to wait until you're, of course, you passing on or passing away for your family to benefit. You can benefit now. But even just that in itself is so valuable, right? Because it's like, at the end of the day, let's say you had a life insurance and you only paid $10,000 in the last 5 years. You passed away, your family gets $500,000 or $200,000 or whatever that is. You know, so you invested 10, your family gets $250,000. You see what I'm talking about? It's an investment.
Yeah.
We are gonna die, right? So why not monetize death? That's how I see it. It might sound weird to say that, but you're literally monetizing death. We are all going to die. We just do not know when, right? So why not secure the bag on something that's secure to happen, right?
Yeah. Yo, I mean, that's a fact. Yo, that was a bar.
Give it to me.
That was fire. All right, so you're talking about monetizing, your policy and using it to fund other business ventures. You did that. Mm-hmm. All right, talk about that.
Yeah, so I actually borrowed from my life insurance policy to invest into my first Airbnb property. So I leveraged my policy. I borrowed against the policy. In other words, the company lend the money out to me. Of course, I needed to make sure that I had a specific amount of money already accumulated for them to lend me out the same money that I was looking to borrow, right?
Now, when did you get your policy?
I got my policy in 2018.
So, okay.
Like, 5 years ago? I'm sorry, I'm not that great at math.
All right, so that was 5 years ago. And you were then...
I'm sorry.
4 years ago.
Going on... Yes, it just made 4 years, yes.
Gotcha. So you got it 4 years ago, and you were able to borrow how much?
I took out a small loan. I borrowed about $3,000.
$3,000, and you used that to get an Airbnb property, which now pays you residual income.
Yes,
every month.
It does, definitely does. I think revenue after expenses. Take home will probably be about $700 to $800 a month.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So because you did something 4 years ago that gave you the capital or the $3,000 for you to be able to get an Airbnb property, and now you're looking at taking home $700 to $800 a month, like passively, without doing anything. And you don't just have
work here and there, put in some hours. I get on the field when I need to.
Yeah.
But nothing like a 9 to 5.
That's crazy. All right, so, and you don't just have one property.
No,
I
have 3.
You have 3.
Yeah, they don't all cash flow the same. Like, that one's my favorite, obviously.
Yeah, got you.
But, of course, I do it passively. For those people that, if you know anything about short-term rentals, there's different ways that you can rent your property. You can do less than 30 days, which means that, you can have someone book it for 3 days, a weekend, let's just say a week or whatever, right? I do stays 30 days or longer, right? Just because I like the whole passiveness behind it. I don't want to work harder, right? I'm trying to work less and make more money, which I'm fine with that, because although it means I'm making less money, it gives me time freedom, which I absolutely love. And then it gradually allows me to grow and just continue to add more properties.
So if I have 3 or 4, or let's say I have $5,000, you can help me get an Airbnb property.
It probably will not cost you like that much. I would say we will probably have to be closer to the 7,000 to 10,000 to start.
Okay, so if I have $7,000. Trying to save a little bit. So if I have $7,000, you mean to tell me you can help me get an Airbnb property? I know you don't do this as a service, but as a friend,
as a friend,
hold me down. You can help me get an Airbnb property that could generate around $700 to $800 a month.
if we run the numbers, yes. I don't want to make any promises because, of course, every area is different. The cost of acquisition is really important. You understand? Because that property that I'm referring to, the rent is really low, so I get to cash flow more. But we know that, I mean, I got this property a really long time ago, which I got to, get grandfathered in. It's not the case a lot like that anymore. So much has changed. Rents are, especially in New York, extremely expensive. I'm not saying that to scare you off of it, just so that you don't expect that I'm getting into it, I'm gonna start cash flowing $7,000-8,000 a month, right? It may be smaller growth, but once you get in and you get a taste of it, you get to increase at your own pace or grow at your own pace.
Okay. We're going to have to, on another time, we'll actually go a little bit deeper into that because I'm really fascinated by, by that whole field. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Making money passively. Or it's not really passive, but just making money, in different ways.
Different sources of income. I feel like that is a necessity. Yes, it is a necessity. Because, I mean, we all experienced the pandemic. Some of us, fortunately enough, made it out alive, right? That wasn't the case for many people. But I say all of that to say is that the pandemic showed us that we're easily replaceable, right? Right now we're a lot of people were disposed. I hate to put it that way, but they were laid off. They didn't have, the budget. They had to cut budget. The first thing that they cut off is employees. We're getting replaced by machines. You understand? So it's just like one source of income is too close to none. We need to figure out ways and be more conscientious about how can I position, it's like chess, it's like playing chess. How can I position myself to increase my sources of income without having to necessarily also increase my time invested into
your
things,
labor.
in your labor, right? Increase my labor. So that's what I'm always looking for ways to do that, right? And especially now, there's so many creative ways for you to increase your income without necessarily increasing your labor, right? So many to list, but I know like for those people that are interested, they can always get online and just look for ways to increase your income, because that's ultimately what we should all be striving for, right? Multiple sources of income. And for those people that care for it, of course, who am I to tell people what to do or not to do? But if you naturally have an interest and you want to be able to do that, then I would definitely say do it.
Gotcha. Okay. This is good. I'm definitely inspired.
I'm glad.
Did your parents support your entrepreneurship early on?
My mom thought I was crazy because at the time when I made the transition, I was working as an educator, working for the DOE, working with kids with special needs. I did that for about 4 years. I had a pretty good job. I mean, the pay wasn't nothing. But I was traveling about 3-4 times a year, paid vacations, right? Because we'll get time off from school and things like that. So it was good benefits and all that stuff. So it was, to my parents, a good job, right? But my mom thought I was completely crazy when I told her I was leaving the DOE and I was, chasing my entrepreneur dreams. But now she's like my biggest fan. Like, she is my biggest supporter. Like, I can count on my mom for anything. Like, I know she'll be there. She doesn't quite understand the whole like Airbnb thing, but at first she did, and now she's kind of like coming around it. And she supports me whenever she sees things online. She reaches out to me. She'll send me clients, like, refer me. She's just like that person that I know I can like count on.
That's beautiful. Yeah,
that's my best friend.
You show your parents a lot of love.
I do. I love my parents to death, especially my mom, because she's actively there. Like, she will roll up her sleeves and get on the field with me. She has cleaned some of my properties, like she will paint with me. Like, she just does things that, like, I don't know, it's just it's great to have that. Like, I'm super grateful to be able to have my mom's support the way I do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, some people, their parents don't support them and they get discouraged. How did you keep going?
One of the things that always keeps me going, regardless of who supports me or not, is that this is my dream. There's no one else's responsibility is to support me, because it's not their vision. They don't see what I see. So because I was given this vision, it is my duty to protect it from the outside world, especially people that have never gone through the journey that you're about to endure, right? Or that you're currently going through. So I always see as like, whenever you have a vision, whenever you have a business, it's your baby. Like, you need to protect it because you will get tested, especially, in those times where you just want to give up. Like, I've experienced those times so many times, right? And I prayed, I made sure that I got myself right, and I kept going, regardless who had my back or not, because it will be lonely. It's a lonely road at times. But you need to believe in your vision. You need to see the end goal and see yourself there and push yourself as much as you can, because, like I said, it gets lonely, it gets tough. You will get in your head. Do not get in your head, right? And then just surround yourself by other people that are doing what you do. And that might not be physically, but online. I feel like my social media right now, I follow a whole bunch of business leaders. I follow a whole bunch of fitness pages. Spiritual guides and whatever. I follow things that I constantly want to see. Not no nonsense. We can easily get distracted by the noise. You want to maintain focus and you want to maintain a life of purpose. So you need to embody that. The books you read, the things you watch, the people you surround yourself with, all of that does something to you. You understand? So you need to, if you're going through something alone, start there. Start by educating yourself. Change the books you read. Change what you're watching on social media, right? We don't have to go through it alone. Whether we're physically present with someone, there's so much information and resources accessible to us through that phone that we don't utilize with intention. Understand? So that's what I would say to someone, is just be aware, be conscious about what you indulge in, and just keeping in mind that you need to protect your vision, and do not get in your head when things get tough. You need to always remember your reason why you started in the first place, and let that drive you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. How did you hold yourself back earlier in your career?
How have I held myself back?
Yeah.
By getting in my own way, thinking that I know more than people, thinking I would know more than my mentors and my coaches. Like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. And it happens when you see success early. Like, I was one of those fortunate few in my business that I got to see success early on. And that got to me. It got to my ego. Like, I was feeding off of that. So I started to think, like, I know what I'm doing. I'm better than you guys. Listen to me. You understand? Naively, I also failed because I saw that mentality of me thinking that I know my shit. Can I say that?
No.
I'm sorry. Me thinking that I know my stuff compared to like my mentors who have 20, 30, 40 years of experience. That was so naive of me to think that way. So I would say, get out of your own way, be coachable. It's important, especially if you have the luxury to have mentors, to have people to guide you, listen to them.
Can I just co-sign you real quick?
Go for it.
Like, I had a mentor when I was 22, 23, and no one's perfect, but he was like 40 years older than me, maybe 50. If I would have just listened and done every single thing that he told me to do, I would be a multi-millionaire right now. But I started, feeling myself because I started getting a lot of admiration and compliments very early on. And it just kind of like gassed my head up, and I didn't listen. There are relationships and heartbreaks that I could have avoided if I would have just listened to my mentor.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. I can definitely relate. I've gotten into my head way too easily. And I also feel like identifying a great mentor is important, because not everybody that's a mentor is a good mentor. Not everybody that's a coach is a good coach. So also identifying that where to draw the line with someone where you feel confident enough that it's going to guide you, and someone where you kind of have your reservations, and look into that. Like, why do I feel like this person cannot guide me? Have they shown me something? Right? Because subconsciously, the reason why we don't move is because we don't feel confident enough to move, to make progressive steps forward. So it's like diving into that. Why don't I feel confident enough? What am I lacking? What am I not seeing? What am I missing? Right? And just, give into that. Not that you have to be skeptical with everything, because I know naturally as human beings, we tend to be skeptical, and it's a defense mechanism. But I feel like if you have the right mentors and the right coaches in your life that are actively showing you the life that you want to embody and live, go for it. Listen to them. Be coachable. Regardless of what you think I always say pick up the good, let go of the bad. Because everybody's coaching style isn't for everybody, right? But at least take what you admire, take the good, leave the bad.
So how does somebody identify a good mentor?
I guess it goes back to that feeling. I feel like, we were having a conversation earlier, your body speaks to you and your mind does too. So you need to know, like, if you're getting, good, even if it's smaller steps forward, doing what your mentor is telling you, and you feel good about that, you feel confident, you don't have any hesitations doing what they're telling you, then that's a good sign that you're taking the right steps forward. If you're constantly getting some type of resistance, if you're not seeing eye to eye, if you have some reservations, if you don't feel confident in that person, then it's probably time that you start to reevaluate who you consider your mentors, right? Because who wants to constantly be at battle with somebody you're constantly just not seeing eye to eye? How are we going to move forward? We're a team. You understand? I know you've done this before me, but now I consider you part of my team, right? So it really goes back to that, like identifying, what qualities this person has. And of course, they're coming into your life with experience or wisdom, but not everybody that has experience has wisdom. Because there's people that have done something for a year, had a lot of success. That doesn't make them a mentor. That doesn't make them a coach. Understand? Like, what proven record do you really have? Especially in today's microwave society, a lot of people would try something 3 months, 6 months. Oh, I'm writing a book. You understand? Not that you can't do that. I'm not trying to, come at anyone's bag. Like, by all means, do what you got to do. But the reason why I have not started coaching about, short-term rentals, even though I've been doing it for a little over 2 years, is because I still feel like I have things that I want to learn before I'm ready to become someone's coach. You understand? I can start doing it right now, but I still feel like I want to make sure that I embody that person to be ready for someone else.
Gotcha. Okay, that was good. All right. All right. Okay.
How many more questions?
We have about 3-4 more questions. Now we are moving on to a very fun topic. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. We are going to be talking about dating. Yes. Oh man, this is gonna be good. All right.
Gosh.
So, as an ambitious young entrepreneur, are you open to dating at this stage?
Yes. Are we gonna hear this?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about dating, but we're here.
Okay. All right.
My least favorite topic.
Gotcha. As an assertive leader and entrepreneur, do you see yourself being submissive to your man? Wait, do you date guys?
I'm not dating.
I'm just saying, like, do you see yourself like
Dating guys?
wait, do you date guys?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm not dating. I think the first answer was no, I'm not dating.
No, I'm saying like in the future when you are dating. So we're talking about the whole submissive thing. Some women hear, the word submissive, and when it comes to relationships, they're like, no, I'm not doing that. So I'm asking you because you are like an entrepreneur. I can see you being like the president or doing something just really big in life. So I just want to know, like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like there's nothing wrong with submission, but it really has to do with who you're submitting to, right? Like that person has to have a vision that I can follow, that I need a leader, right? Because oftentimes the reason why there's some resistance and hesitation from women to become submissive is because they don't believe in the man that they want to submit to. They just don't believe that he has the qualities to lead them. You understand? Like a woman needs to feel secure. She needs to feel protected. She needs to feel nurtured into that so she can thrive in her femininity and then feel confident enough to be able to submit to her counterpart, right? So yeah, I don't think that modern day women have an issue with submission. I feel like we actually do very much enjoy it. It's just finding that partner that we can be submissive to.
Okay. Yeah, I was not expecting you to say that.
Really?
Well, lately I've been getting a different vibe, but...
No, I honestly, and that's also something that I feel like I had to grow into because I was the type of person who was just like, no.
Yo, that's what I thought you was going to say. I thought you were going to be like,
there's no way in hell you're telling me. Because I feel like we naturally think that submission is like, stay quiet, obey, like that's not what it means. And quite frankly, I feel like males can be or your counterpart can also be submissive to you. I feel like it really depends on who really has the vision. You understand? Whoever has the vision can carry the relationship forward, can carry us forward.
Gotcha. Would you want a man to be submissive to you?
No.
Okay.
I don't enjoy that.
Yeah, that just sounds kind of crazy. Okay.
It's funny because adding on to that, it's like oftentimes when you are, considered to be strong, just like a female that has all these things going on for themselves, it can be intimidating. Like, well, how do I take over now? How do I come in and add on to what she already has without feeling like I'm trying to take over? Let me see if that makes sense.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just trying to think about that in like a real world scenario with myself.
So what I'm trying to say is that oftentimes, I think this will probably make a little bit more sense, or get to the point that I'm trying to get to. It really depends who you find, who you connect to, depends on what energy you're currently in. See, oftentimes when I'm in my business mindset, I'm operating on my masculine energy. When I'm constantly in my masculine energy, I'm gonna attract men that are in their feminine energy. It's the yin to your yang. When I am in my feminine energy, you will open yourself to attract that masculine energy.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense because...
So the thing is like a lot of females are operating in their masculine energy.
Yeah, okay.
Unknowingly. It's kind of like a defense mechanism. Like we kind of needed to survive, especially in New York. I mean, anywhere I would imagine would be tough, but I can only speak about where I'm at. So it's just like this facade that we have, but we do not know when to turn it off. So one of the things that I've been mastering is how to turn it off. I'm no longer in that setting. I no longer need to embody that. Now I can be softer, right? And thrive in my feminine energy. But it helps when you have, I guess, I mean, you don't necessarily need someone to help you do this. You can, do this on your own. But I'm saying is depending on what energy you're in will define who you attract.
Yeah, that part I really, really agree with, because personally speaking, if I see a girl who's like very, like if she just seems too
Rigid or tense.
Yeah, like, or just or masculine, just too. That is like the biggest annoyance to me. It's like
because you guys clash because it's masculine, like
I'm not about to be arguing with you and trying to fight it.
Right.
Okay.
So, and then that's the issue that a lot of women have. It's like they constantly run into other masculine men, but they don't like them because they're in their masculine energy.
Yeah.
You understand?
Okay.
So it's like there has to be some way where women are actively, creating a space where they feel like they can become, the best feminine selves.
Yeah. Because I will say, I've known girls who have dated guys that are like dirtbags. Like, I mean, these guys violated. And after that bad experience, they shut off almost all of their femininity.
Yeah.
Now it's like, and I can see that as a defense mechanism. I'm not going to give you my heart, or I'm not going to be soft around you or be loving and nurturing because I don't want you to hurt me or take advantage of me.
Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, that has a lot to do with it. When a woman has been hurt in the past, she constantly sees it as, well, this is how I was before. That didn't work out for me. That only led me to me getting hurt, to me being broken. So I need to become this tough person constantly to be able to not go through that again.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's still working against you.
Yeah.
Because just because that you had that experience doesn't mean that that's always going to be the same experience.
And then, and also, like, if you date somebody who's just like a bad person, who's inconsiderate, and they're just like a dirtbag, the way they treated you, another person wouldn't dream of treating you like that. So, all right. Last question about dating is, as a successful woman, what qualities do you look for in a man when looking for a partner?
What qualities do I look for? The first word that came to my mind is adaptable. Because it's like dealing with an entrepreneur, it's like you're not only their partner, you're sometimes their assistant, you're sometimes like their best friend, their therapist, like. And I don't think that only applies to dating entrepreneurs. I think just in normal relationships, it's just what that relationship becomes, what it grows on to be. So I feel like a person that's adaptable is important because, especially as an entrepreneur, things are constantly changing. You're constantly evolving. Your life is on like 100 from the moment you wake up. So the demand is heavy, right? So learning how to be adaptable is like learning how to, what I'm trying to get at. I wasn't ready for this question.
Like, what if you need help with your business? Help you with your business. If you
Right.
need help, let's say you're stressed out,
Yes.
help you unwind.
Exactly. And I think that's important as well. Thank you for adding that, because it's just the last thing I want to do is when I'm in my office and I'm in my masculine energy and I'm like in control and having to do all these things, go home and having to still be in my masculine energy and still be in control and do all these things. I want to be able to, thrive in my femininity, how I mentioned earlier. And now you take control. Like when a woman gets asked, where does she want to go eat? Like sometimes we don't want to be asked. We actually hate that question. Like, just decide. We tired of making decisions all the time. Like, where do you want to go eat? Like, I'll do whatever you want to eat. We'll go. Like, we are just tired of having to constantly make decisions. Like, we want to be able to have someone that's okay with being in control, and someone where whenever the roles do switch, I got your back. That I can easily take on that role and do be that person that has to be in control to figure things out, whatever. Because I know sometimes it does get tiring to be that person all the time. So adaptability is one quality.
I just want to say you have a very healthy mindset about all of this. Like I'm not hearing any like insecurity in you or any like, anger, or you don't seem bitter at all.
No. Just because of, I guess I've always had this like hopeful, optimistic thing about me. Like I never really think about bad experiences when I talk about, like I just don't necessarily, like that's just not what I gravitate to first. Not saying that they haven't happened. It's just like my past doesn't determine my future.
I love that.
And a lot of people, when they talk about the future and they have a very sour past and a tough past, they automatically live in this world of fear and like this bubble and like this bitterness and this anger. They carry that on with them. And they wonder why things don't work out for them. You haven't let go. Understand? So it's just like, for me, it's just learning how to move on. Like you cannot, control what you can't control. Just let it go. It's like poison, So I guess that's one of the mindset that has helped me. It's not just relationships, but in anything, business, friendships, and endeavors, whatever I do is just being hopeful and optimistic. The past is the past. Future.
Yo, I love that mindset. But I don't want to distract you. Keep going. So you said adaptable is one. So keep going.
Honestly, I don't know. Like I know it's important to know, but it's just like I don't have a list. Like I'm not one of those females that like, oh, what's my ideal man? Hold up, let me take out the list. Like he has to be tall, he has to be, like, it's just not those things. I guess it's just like not my focus, so it's not something that I think about often. But I would definitely say having a sense of humor is important to me, because I'm like, you guys may see me serious oftentimes, but I am a kid at heart. Like I'm jokester,
I'm really surprised. Like I felt like we'd be here and you'd be.
Because I was like that for the longest, because I felt like that's who I had to show up for the world. Because I always felt like, especially when I
first met you, you were so like, I think I cracked a joke and you just, so like I was saying.
I don't think that happened. But yes, when I first started my business, I felt like I had to be someone that I'm really not, because that's just kind of like the image that I had to be. Like I cared a lot about how I looked, how I presented myself. Not that I don't do right now, but I'm doing it in a way where it's fun, because I'm more authentic with my approach.
Gotcha. I thought you were putting on a show today. I'm like, yo, why is she acting so nice for?
No, like this is me, and it's funny because you actually met me when I first started my business. So, and a lot of people that met me when I first started my business and they see how much I evolved and who I am now, they're like, are you good? Because it's just like, this is who I really am. Like I'm a jokester, like, I crack jokes, or, I just love the fact that I think sometimes we take life too seriously. Like you attract people when you are more true to who you are. And although I felt like I was attracting and making an impact then, I wasn't okay with myself. I didn't like who I was. And that's the most important person I have to please, is myself.
Yeah. I like you a whole lot more now. Not to say that I disliked you, because I didn't dislike you.
Yeah.
But I like you a whole lot more now. And so, just...
You see, because now I am more true to who I am. Like you're getting 100% Lisa.
Yeah. Do you feel like the rigidness, or I guess the was like a defense mechanism?
I felt like
it wasn't bad. Just want to disclaimer.
Yeah.
You were never like, it wasn't like
mean or shy. Like it was just, I just felt like I was just looking at all of these like leaders at the time, my mentors at the time, and I saw the way they carried themselves, and I felt like I had to do the same. But forgetting that at the end of the day, people follow you, your true self. People like you more. You understand? Like I feel way more connected to my clients now than I did before. because now I don't feel like I have to put on this facade. Like, it's okay to build relationships. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to be human. Not saying that I wasn't then, but it's just like my business practice has changed so much. Just like the way I do business, like my clients are my family. You know, like it's not, at first it was very transactional to me. It's just like, let's go. Like, what we doing? And not that that's bad, because it works for some people, but again, it's not, I didn't like myself. You know, I didn't like myself, so I just felt like I had an identity crisis, I guess, like 2 years ago, and I was just like, things shifted.
Just gonna be you.
Yeah, I was just like, I gotta do what's right for me at the end of the day, because you go to bed with yourself. Like, at the end of the day, is you. It's just you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so the last topic. You work out. Like, you are like a gym rat. Like, when I seen it, I was like, she really is in the gym consistently.
I am in the gym.
And I'm like, you know, you're looking good.
Thank you. Honestly, I think I'm more in the gym now than I am in the office. And I'm just like so fascinated, because when I started my fitness journey, it started as like a joke. You know, I sat down with a business coach, actually a good friend of mine right now. And I told him, I was like, listen, I want to train like if I'm, you know, going to be on a cover of, what's that magazine?
Sports
Illustrator. I want to train, like I want to look like in a year I am ready to be on the cover of a Sports Illustrator magazine.
You do. But great.
And he's like, his name is Matthew, by the way. Shout out to Matthew, Coach T. He's like, okay, you need to eat like calorie surplus. So I'm like, okay, you have to work out 5 to 6 times a week. To me then, I was like, I couldn't process that. Like, I didn't go to the gym in like, years. So it's like, you're telling me I had to work out 5 to 6 times a week? No, it was 4 to 5 times, I think, somewhere around there. So to me, it's like, I'm over here, I'm like I'm writing these things down, and I'm over here like, I don't think that's gonna work. Like, I'm just making all these excuses in my head. I was like, no, it conflicts with my schedule, you know? And I was just like, I literally stopped myself, and I'm just like, bro, no one's making you do this. Like, if this is what you want to do, then do it. Understand? Like, I'm so quick to tell people, like, stop making excuses. I have to hold myself accountable. So I was just finding all these excuses in the book of why it cannot work out, when it was just excuses, like me trying to make these things up so I won't get there. Mind you, it's my goal in the first place. So it's like, how bad do you want it? And, you know, even though, you know, yes, a part of me still wants to be in the cover of Sports Illustrated, it's not necessarily my goal anymore, because when I started my journey, it became so much more than just how I look. You know, your mind is sharper. You know, your likes are different. You know, you just evolve into this entirely different world that I didn't even know I was capable of achieving, all by working out. I think a lot of people sleep on working out. Like, they just sleep on it. Like, it changes your life. Okay, it changes your life. So I started working out. The moment I did it, I was just like, to me, it's all about building the discipline. But I know by building discipline, I had to be consistent. So it's like showing up on the days I didn't want to show up. I think to me, that's so important, because oftentimes we give in. I'm tired, don't feel like showing up. You know when you're really tired. You know when you need a rest day. And I know you know, because you're also a gym rat. But oftentimes your mind plays tricks on you, like, oh, you don't need to go. You're good. Just stay in bed, relax. You'll go tomorrow. But it's like, who do I really want to become? You know, am I constantly, because that becomes a habit. Oh, I go tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow's not a day in the calendar, right? So you have to get up. That's how you build discipline, is showing up when you do not want to show up. And if I constantly do that, showing up on the days that I do not want to show up, I just build a whole habit. Now there's no way, like, you have to drag me out of the gym in order for me not to go. because it's embedded in my DNA now. And that's only 3 months of me being consistent 5 days a week. 5 days a week.
You've only been working out for 3 months?
Correct.
How much? Wait. Congratulations. Because
Thank you.
That's crazy. So what kind of progress have you seen?
I've seen a lot. Honestly, I've seen more progress in like the last month than I've seen in the first 2 months of me working out. Because you see, there's different gym stages. Like when you first start, it's that really awkward stage when you're trying to figure it out, where you're scared to touch machines, you're scared to like do anything because you're just like so conscious about how you look. And
wait.
Right? Like, and it's just like you see all these people like working out and they look good and they know what they're doing, and you feel intimidated by that. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing here, you know? So for me, like the first month was getting like I would say the first month and a half was like getting over the stage, that awkward stage. And then I started to, you know, like, okay, everyone sees me. Like now I'm just like, okay, I'm a regular here. Like I have to step up my game, like, you know. And then I started to follow a lot of these fitness pages, and I would get ideas from them, workout ideas, and I would start to implement that. So whenever I saw something, one of the things that also helped me also see progress really fast is just not kind of like, what I'm trying to say is when I go to the gym and I see people working out, you know who really works out and who's just like there to pass time. Because when you have a plan, you know you go from machine to machine and you're intentional with your workouts. When you don't, you're kind of like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna do this machine, I do that machine, you only do like one set of something or whatever, you're like all over the place. I wanted to be intentional. So I started to jot down my workouts. So whenever I'm doing upper body or whenever I'm doing lower body, I know exactly what my workouts are, and I don't change them frequently. Just gotta be consistent. So even with that, you know, write down a plan, be intentional with what you're trying to do. For me, I want to bulk, right? I want to get a little bigger to then cut. So that's my intention. So I got to do, not only my nutrition is a big part of it, of course, but I also want to make sure that I follow a plan and I'm consistent.
Gotcha.
Hope that answered your question.
No, it did. You really in the lifestyle right now.
There's no stopping now. Like, that's it. I'm a gym rat for life.
Okay.
For sure.
So your goal over the last 3 months, at the beginning of it, was it to gain weight or lose weight?
Always gain weight.
Okay. How much did you gain?
Ever since I started really taking my nutrition as serious, because I feel like at first I wasn't, like I lacked direction. And I also feel like it's important to work with a mentor, work with someone that's going to guide you. It's really important to have someone. But once you kind of figure it out and you go at your pace, for me, I started to snack really often. Like I need to be, like right now I have to snack. You know, snacking like every it's usually 2 to 3 hours. I do more than 3 hours now. And then when I'm going to eat, like I'm eating big meals. Like I'm looking for high calories, you know.
Like what?
So a lot of avocados, a lot of eggs. I eat a lot of oatmeals. Oatmeals are like my favorites. So, and I'm also like salmon. Hope I'm saying that right.
Salmon, yeah.
Salmon.
Well, salmon.
Salmon. You know, so I'm looking for meals that like are high calories, high protein meals or foods.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, yo. How much weight did you gain? Did you answer that?
I didn't. I gained about, I was like 115 for the longest. And I feel like when I first started, I probably came down to like 113 at some point. I was just like, what am I doing wrong? And it was that I wasn't eating the sufficient calories. Now I'm 122 as of today. I literally weighed myself.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
122.
Yeah, I was about to be like, Lisa, how much do you weigh? Like,
get to the point. Answer the question, right?
Oh man.
My goal is, it was 130. I feel like that's in the bag. Now I feel like I may do 145.
Yeah, you got this. So what's on your body right now? what do you want to change?
My gut. Which is hard because of genetics. Like, I also have to keep in mind that there's certain things that is genetic, so I have to work harder for. What else I want to change? So I made a post the other day and I was just like, I want my shoulders to be cut, right, where I don't have to flex for you to see them, you just see them. I don't really care for abs so much, at least not right now. It's not my main priority. I want a bigger bum. I want some calves. There's something else, a back. I'm like obsessed with back workouts right now. So, yeah.
Okay. How often do you train your legs?
3 days a week.
Okay. All right. I mean, well, everything you're doing, it sounds good. I'd have to, go a little bit deeper into it to give you some more like tangible advice.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you want to do that real quick?
That's it.
Let's take a minute. Okay. So if you wanted advice on one thing, what would it be?
Gym wise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do have a question for you. They say when you're working out your glutes, right? What's important? Do I have to because I see a lot of people saying that you have to increase the weight.
Okay.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what glute exercises are you doing?
I'm doing hip thrust religiously.
How heavy do you go?
I did 150 today. That's like my new PR.
How many reps?
I do I don't even count it because I just go. Like if it was me, I'll be in the gym doing hip thrusts all the fucking time.
When I say reps, I mean
No, I do about 8 reps.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good. I mean, when you in there, you just want to just go hard.
And I do about 5 to 6 sets.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I go a little harder when it comes to hip thrust just because I really do enjoy the exercise. One is my favorite. Besides that, I'm also doing Bulgarians, which I literally picked up 2 weeks ago. I was just so afraid of doing Bulgarians just because of the stigma that Bulgarians are so hard and things like that. I honestly enjoy Bulgarians more than regular squats.
Yes.
I'm that weird person. I love them. Squats every now and then. You kind of have to push me to do squats because it's my least favorite workout. Leg press. I also do the cable kickbacks.
Okay. Yeah, those are cool. It's a nice accessory workout. I would keep doing what you're doing, but I would keep most of my focus on the heavy compound movements.
Deadlifts too. I do a lot of deadlifts.
Okay, that's good.
A lot of RDOs. I don't really do deadlifts.
Gotcha.
I do RDOs a lot.
Okay, that's good.
I love them.
Now, grams of protein wise, I would make sure that I'm getting at least at your weight, try to get 120 grams of protein a day.
120 grams of protein a day.
Yeah. So you just got to go on
That's
MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
Anywhere from 100 to 120 because you're 122.
I heard I have to eat, you have to eat your same weight of protein, right?
Yeah. If you can do 120, that would be perfect. Do that and see how your body changes.
Got it.
And make sure you're getting your sleep and your rest and you're not stressed. And I think that'll help you, get stronger and build the muscle and the curves where you want to build it at.
Yeah, because it's I got to grow in order to build. So 120.
Yeah.
Got it. Noted.
All right. And, that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Do you have any motivational words? Give a little 15, 20-second motivational boost to the people watching.
When I'm on the spot, it's horrible. I'm stuck.
Okay. Well,
I'm stuck. I feel like naturally I would have so many things, but I'm running out of ideas. Honestly, one of the things that I would just say is just whatever it is that you focus your mind on. Okay, here we go. I think what you say to yourself is important. So make sure that you're constantly speaking positive to yourself. And one of the things that has helped me a lot lately has been affirmations. So telling yourself that you are powerful, telling yourself that you can accomplish everything that you set your mind to, the more you tell yourself these things, the more you will believe it. And once you have that belief, you have the confidence, and you're ready to take on the world.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's it.
This was fun.
It was.
This is really fun.
Yeah, it was. I love doing this. And this was dope. I feel like people are going to get a lot of info from it.
Yes.
Testing.
Oh, okay. You just don't like to feel like you're not in control.
Yeah.
But you don't have to drink you don't have to drink to the point to feel like you're not in control. Because I feel like if you get like faced it, then obviously.
Yeah.
But no one does that anymore.
Facts. Especially my age, imagine that look crazy.
That's cringy.
Yeah. So the reason why I don't drink is because like I'm Christian, and there's some scriptures that it doesn't forbid drinking, but it just talks about the benefits of not drinking. And I think those benefits are true. It says, if you are in a position of leadership or authority and you drink, it will make you more likely to have perverted judgment.
What about wine? Because Jesus drank wine.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I guess I have like wine at like a definitely different pedestal than alcohol.
But I'm not judging you.
No. And I don't feel judged at all. I guess I'm just picking your brain on that.
Yeah. And saying Jesus drank wine is that true? Are you 100% sure that's true? Because people say that.
I mean, I wasn't there, so I would never be 100%
I know, but like people say that sometimes. It's like, no, he didn't. It's
he
like he turned water into wine. It never said
so
he drank wine.
it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But like once again, I'm not coming at you.
But they did it for the supper, no?
Who said he drank wine? And who said it was wine that was being passed around?
I mean, he turned water into wine
for a wedding.
For the supper.
No, for a wedding.
It was. Excuse me. I'm gonna ask my grandma. She's also Christian.
Okay.
But that's actually a really great question. Because when they do like the
communion.
Yeah. No, not the communion, because the communion is Catholic.
Well, Christian churches do that too.
They do. I'm talking about the I don't know how to say it in English, but
say it in Spanish. I'm Spanish too.
El como damn. Maybe I could describe it to you. It's a day where it happens during spring break. Oh, it's gonna come back to me.
Easter or what? It's Passover?
Passover, I believe it's Passover. It's like the day where Jesus came back to life.
No, that was
he died. Don't quote me on any of this.
I
feel so ignorant.
Yeah, let's. One day on the phone we could talk about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I assume like if you're gonna turn water into wine, why not?
Yeah, but it doesn't.
But you're absolutely right. Like, where are people getting that he drank it?
Yeah.
I never really thought about it. Like, should I just assume like I would drink it? But that doesn't mean Jesus drank it.
Yeah. And in scripture, it's not saying if you drink wine you're a bad person. It literally says like wine or like hard alcohol isn't for kings and princes because it'll pervert your judgment, and you need to be fair and very just and be willing to speak up for those who need your protection and help.
So is that the main reason why you don't drink?
Yeah, that's honestly the only reason.
Oh, okay. So the whole not feeling control is just.
I mean, well, that's part of it too. Like I don't really, like right now, if I had a little bit of wine, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I do operate well, like being sober. Like I can go to a club or a lounge and, have the time of my life completely sober.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing to master. Because I feel like the reason why a lot of people drink, especially in social settings, is because of the anxiety. Yeah. It's like talking to other people, like the nervousness around that. Like, what do I say? How do I look? So when you drink, it's a way for you to kind of like, it makes you feel brave to the fact where it's just like, okay, now I feel brave enough to go up to people and have a conversation. But it also messes with your judgment in a way, because it's like, are people really getting to know you? You know, so it's just like, I mean, we can go on and on about this, but
I would just say this. This is actually, I'm having fun talking about this. Like, I think that anxiety and being nervous, I think that's like, those are gifts for you. I think that makes you better. You know, like right now, I'm nervous and I'm a little bit more careful and I'm more aware. I think that's what's keeping me sharp. You know, if you're out in the wild or if you're out in the dangerous part of the world, you want that sharpness and alertness and that nervousness because it
Yes.
keeps you on your toes a little bit. I think it's a tool that your body gives you to help you operate better.
it's a survival mechanism. You know, it's like your nervous system telling you, like, this is out of my comfort zone. It's not a similar feeling. So it's like, it's learning how to, I guess what we need to start doing more. And when I say we, I say like as society, it's like learning how to operate while we're feeling that, because that's the only way that we can overcome it. You understand? It's like, in order for you to not feel nervous public speaking or doing things that are out of your comfort zone, you have to do more of them.
Yeah.
So you can get adjusted and used to it.
Yeah, but I really don't think there's anything wrong with being nervous. I think when you're
No,
nervous,
absolutely not.
I think when you're nervous, your body secretes adrenaline, which is literally like it makes you like superhuman. So if you're about to go up and give a motivational speech, or if you're a fighter and you're about to get on the stage and get in the cage and fight, your body gives you adrenaline so that you can perform better.
True.
Even when I go out at night and there's a pretty girl that I'm going to talk to and I'm nervous, I think my body's giving me what I need to perform at a higher level. So I like that nervousness. I just think most people feel nervous and they don't use all the energy their body's giving them because they look at it as, oh, this is uncomfortable, let me run away from it. But I think if we dig into it, that's how you unlock, you know, your best execution sometimes.
That's interesting, because for some people, feeling nervous is disabling.
I think for everyone, initially it is. But once you can get past that stage fright and you realize it's a gift, or if you look at it like it's a gift, I think it can help you execute on a higher level.
I agree. Using that as power, using that as a tool, will definitely, like you said, it gives you that, like you're basically feeding off of that, and it helps you pivot.
Yeah,